What kind of man lets others die because he won't act? This is the only way. Please.
Enough!
Thank you. That must have been hard.
Don't thank me. Please don't thank me for that.
It's what he wanted.
So? That's not a reason to kill someone.
Okay, this season is really testing Mark's values and his morality, because there's no way they have this whole future concept with a mortal as king and him wanting to die and all that. There's no way this random plot, which I'm assuming is not going to be random in the future, I guess we just don't fully understand it yet. I'm assuming it's going to be something that's going to become more relevant later on in the story. But either way, currently as it shows, values his morality. Like, how far can he be pushed to where he has to abandon them and go against them? Because yeah, we don't really fully understand what was going on in this future timeline and what Mark's future self did and how Immortal ended up becoming this way, truthfully. But all we know is that when it's time, when Mark was trying to figure out options, ways to solve everything without killing Immortal, it's like he didn't have time to think. Immortal wasn't really trying to give him any choices, any time to think. Every time he was giving Immortal a choice and option, he's like, no, this is the only way. And for Mark, is like, what can you do at that point, right? Like, if you're in the middle of a battle and the person you're fighting is literally telling you the only way you can stop me is by killing me, or more people will get hurt, and they're not listening to anything you're saying, like any other options, like what else are you supposed to do? What else is Mark really gonna do in that situation? Like, is there moments, is there a time where it's almost impossible to stick to what you believe in? Is that the case? Because these scenes really had me questioning and had me thinking about some stuff. Like, first things first, like, this had me thinking of what it means to be a good person, or what it means to do the right thing. Because I think even Mark asked Eve after this whole event that, like, does she believe that he's a good person?
Eve, am I a good person?
Of course you are.
I still killed him.
But it sounds like he was ready to go. I know that doesn't solve this, but we will get through it. Together.
And of course she's gonna say yes. But I believe in Mark's head, a good person is someone who just is either a good person to him is someone who doesn't kill, or is someone who doesn't change or abandon their morality or who they are, what they value. Like, they stick to it no matter what. So I think since he attached his goodness, his character to his beliefs and his values, of course, it's like every time he breaks it, it's like more evidence to himself that he might not actually be a good person. So like, one of the real questions I think is going to be tapped into this season is, what does it mean to be a hero? Is it stopping the bad guy no matter what, no matter the cost, even if it means killing somebody? Or does being a hero mean sticking to what you believe in no matter what, no matter the sacrifice or what that costs for you or for others? I think that's what the role of Oliver is too, is the hero that would do anything to complete the mission and save people, while Mark is the perspective of finding the best possible path for everybody, including the villain. But what do you think? What do you think is the right path? Like, what do you think it means to be a hero, and what do you think it means to be a good person? Because these are questions I even ask myself in real life. Honestly, if I'm Mark, this is how I would think about it. It's like a 3-strike rule. Like, if the villain keeps coming back and doing the same thing over and over again, or like no matter what they're not changing, 3 strikes you're out. At some point, killing might be necessary to save the world if they're never gonna change, no matter what you say. Because that is a thing. Like, one thing Mark has to accept is there are people who will never change no matter what you say, but there are also people that will change if you give them a chance. So that's why I think of like a 3-strike rule. Like, 3 strikes you get, 2 chances, 3 strikes you're out. But you let me know what you think Mark should have done, or how he should be approaching these battles in the future. Do you agree with my 3-strike rule? I don't know what you think, and you let me know what you think, what it means to be a hero and what it means to be a good person, what it means to do the right thing. Is killing the enemy sometimes the right thing? But one last thing about Immortal, like, the first thing that came into my head was, you die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And since he's immortal, it's like all he could do is just live long enough to become the villain. And I think Immortal is just the embodiment of that, because he lived so much life and seen so much chaos and loss that like he was just tired of it. But last point, this is actually going to be the last point. One thing that Immortal discussed, or he he was going to mention it when he first saw Mark was the fact that when he mentioned Eve, he was about to say something about her. He was going to be like, oh, you mean the woman who? And then he stopped.
Kate. I don't know that name. Is that the red-haired woman you...
No, not Eve. Kate.
What was that about? What he's gonna say about Eve is either she done something dramatic or something dramatic happened to her. Either or, it might be a little sneak peek of the future. Because if you think about it too, right? They show future Eve in the end of last season. And now they're talking about future Mark, and you know, there's been a lot of exploring of the future. And I'm starting to wonder why that is the case. Why are they so interested? Why is this show trying to have you pay attention to people's future selves? I'm trying to wonder how that's gonna play a role for the past. But I don't know, we'll see. If they keep exploring more of the future, then we'll know more why they're doing this and why they're showcasing more of the future. Okay, next thing, Alan, the 5-star recruiter, the one that is forming the team, making sure we have a chance against the Vulturemites. This man really picked up Battle Beast.
Who possesses the courage to dare free Battle Beast? Viltrumites?
Oh man, yes. We definitely got them.
Fair game. This term pleases me.
I've never thought of that as a possibility. Like, this man Alan really is saving the day. Like, he's doing the most out of anybody in terms of trying to fight against the Vulturemites and planning for that event. This man's out here in space getting all the top draft picks. This man got Nolan, he got the Vulturemite mentor, now he got Battle Beast. Like, come on, man. Once he comes into Earth with this squad, what? Mark better thank him. What? He better give him a red carpet entrance to Earth. Tell everybody that he's an ally. Don't harm this guy. This guy's the one. He's the savior. He's the reason why Earth has a chance. Alan. But speaking of this whole battle against the Vulturemites and Alan and Nolan breaking out, one thing we did learn is Omni-Man is changing as a person in this season. Who knew that he could actually care about somebody outside of his bloodline? Because as we see, he actually cares about Alan and his well-being, or him dying or not.
You're not so special.
Stop! No! Sorry I ruined your execution, Nolan. Looks like I'm going first. Get away from him!
For someone who almost died, you recovered very quickly.
Yes, I did. All thanks to you, buddy. Okay, maybe I let him work me over a little more than I had to.
He could have killed you.
Oh, I know. You needed the motivation.
No Viltrumite would do such a thing for another.
I mean, you would for Debbie and Mark and that purple kid you told me about. And for me, apparently, just now. Because you did.
Which is progress. Like, if you remember last season, I even made a video about it where he never even apologized to Mark or Debbie or anybody about what happened at Earth. So the fact that he went from not even being able to apologize to saying, oh yeah, I miss my wife, and actually getting mad and trying to save Alan, like, this is progress. This is major improvements from the previous 2 seasons. But not only that, this man Nolan gave the best news you could ever hear for Team Earth. So there's less than 50 pure Vulturemites, and they're not willing to take any chances of losing more Vulturemites.
No one's coming.
What?
We don't need to worry. No reinforcements are coming. There are fewer than 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left in the universe. This is the Empire's most closely guarded secret. It's also why we can beat them.
So honestly, it seems like it's less likely that they're just gonna invade Earth, you know, just randomly. And it seems like too that they only said that to Mark just to intimidate him and threaten him. That might have been a bit of a bluff. Because if it's really that low of a number and they have to go all over the universe, then I could see where they have a lot of time to prepare. But the question is, they said less than 50 pure Vulturemites. I'm assuming Nolan's not the only one who's like breeding with other species, right? But then again, the other species would have to want to fight for the Viltrumites. But isn't actually the case is the whole reason Nolan was sent to Earth was to conquer Earth so that they'll be part of the Empire. So even though there's less than 50 Viltrumites, we don't know who's a part of the Empire in terms of the other species. Like, what other species are assisting them, helping them out? Like, they might be less than 50 of them, but we don't know how big their army is with the other species involved. So it's hard to say if their army is truly going to be small or they're actually going to invade with like other species from other planets. But we'll see though. This was a very, very interesting episode. This really had me thinking about Mark's character and his future, their chances against the Viltrumites, what their chances are at this point in time with the information we collected. I wonder if we're going to get more information about the future and how that impacts right now. We still don't know much about the device that was stalking Mark and his family. We probably have to wait until next episode to get that info. But yeah, you let me know your thoughts on this episode, your thoughts on Mark, your thoughts on Nolan. What are your predictions for the next episode? Let's have a discussion down below. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.